Okay, let's begin today's session.
Okay.
Sit in any comfortable pose. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Inhale and then exhale. Let's chant 3 times Om together. Inhale one more time. Om. 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 Join your hands together in front of your heart center. Bow your head down. Open your eyes while blinking. And namaste. Yes, Neha ji.
Yeah. No, sir. Just I want to
You're
ask.
not here for last 3 days.
No, I came here, but I
What
think
time?
I came late and no one is here. Like so.
Yes. Nobody was there, and then I stopped. Yeah,
Okay.
what time did
Generally,
you come?
I come like after 3:37. Like yeah. From
Okay.
here time, after 7:35 or 37.
Yeah, there was nobody, so I thought nobody's coming. Then I ended
Okay.
the meeting. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's sit in any comfortable pose. So today we will. What did we discuss? Like whatever, like how many poses that we have done so far?
We do. I think we did. Last time we discussed all about alignment and
Yeah.
philosophy.
So today we will move further to the teaching methodology. Okay, so what does happen in teaching methodology and what are the things that we have to keep in our mind when we are leading the class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so have you ever given any class before to any students? This yoga class only. I know you are a teacher as well, but have you taken any other class in like as in yoga?
You
Hello.
hear me? Yes. Now I
I
can.
can hear you.
Now I can.
What I'm asking is that have you ever given any class in yoga?
Yeah, like I take like very basic class. Just I'm teaching
Mm.
few like here,
Yes.
and it starts from like all basic asanas, padmasana, and then
Mm-hmm.
breathing exercise, pranayam, and meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but not
Okay, so mhm,
yoga flow or Ashtanga yoga.
mhm. Maybe you know few like so many things about this, but maybe I will tell you new things about teaching methodology. Okay, so before we enter into that any yoga session, that we have to keep in our mind, like you should know people, like whoever is practicing yoga with you. Okay, so you're gonna ask their name, you're gonna ask the like the experience that they have got in yoga, and if they have got any injury, so please, they are supposed to let us know. If they don't let us know, then maybe we will do any posture. Like if somebody has got slip disc or low back pain, if we are going to make them do forward bends, this is going to that make that worst case scenario. Like it's going to make it worse, right? So
Mm.
accordingly, we have to know like what are the problem they have got, and what is the main purpose of doing, like what is the main purpose of doing that yoga, right? So if they want to lose their fat, if they want to strengthen their muscle, if they want to keep you like calming themselves, or like any purpose that they can they must be having in their mind, right? So first we should know that what is the main purpose of doing that yoga, and if they have any injury or other thing they have got any problem, then we are also supposed to understand, right? So after moving further to this, we will move on to, we will start with the side stretches, like as I told you last month too. So we're gonna start with side stretches, this one, twisting, and then we will move on to sun salutation. Then
Mhm.
if, see, maximum people, they have the same purpose, like they want to become flexible, if they want to strengthen their like strength, if they want to build the strength, again they have to first build their flexibility, that is then you can, they can go further to the strengthening part, right? So first we're going to make them flexible. So if they are saying that I have got problem, that's why I'm practicing yoga. If other person have problem, like they have got stiffness on their back or their entire body, again they also want to become flexible. If they feel like yoga is going to help them out to keeping their mind calm, right? So again, practicing yoga is again going to help them out at the end of the session, keeping their mind down. Okay, so if they want to keep in their mind, they calming down themselves, you can add on meditation, pranayama after the class. Okay, so that's how we are going to form our class. Okay, so first we will have to understand, first they have to be flexible. If you're not flexible, you must be, what do we call it, suppressing so many emotions in your body, right? So when you practice, when you become flexible, at the time you're releasing all the suppression, whatever emotion that you are suppressing within you, that is going to release out. Okay, so this is the main motto of the doing yoga. The moment when you practice yoga, your muscle will start to extend, and then you will create more space in your muscle. You will create more space in your joint. That is when you can release all the tension from there, right? If you believe in energy, then these things will happen to you. Okay, if you don't believe in energy, then nothing will happen to you, right? So you have to tell them first, like you have to have a patience. If you don't have patience, like if you feel like you'll be flexible in 2 days or 1 month or 2 months, that will never happen. Okay, so this is the process. You have to follow up this process. That is then you can straight, open your legs, you can deepen the posture. So you have to follow the process. You will love this process, and motivate them. Feel like you can do it, like within a 6 months, 7 months, it's going to happen. You don't need to practice every day. Just few days in a, few days in a week, that's fair enough. Like 4 days in a week is fair enough. Like 15 days in a month is fair enough. You don't need to go every day to the yoga classes, right? So just motivate them. This is so that they can bring this into consistency. If they are not consistent towards their practice, then no matter what are the things that you say, they will never be flexible. Okay, and if you're going to the dance studio or other classes, they will make you flexible in a day, right? They're gonna push you out. Maybe you will get tear on your muscle, and that tear, if it happens to your hip, if any muscle like is going to pull up, like pull excessively, or that joints that will move from its place, then it's not going to fix. It will take time to fix, but it will happen. Like that pain is going to happen there for long period of time. That I have experienced, that I have seen many people, they fall into injury because of doing excessively stretching, right? So nobody can be flexible in a day. This is a myth, that if you feel like in 1 month, 6 months, like 2 months, you will become flexible. This is not going to happen. Like it's like it may happen when you have different body structure, right? When you have different hormones, when you have, when your muscles are too much active, and your blood flow is going smoothly than other people, then it's going to, lactic acid is moving out, then it's going to help them out to become more flexible than become flexible quicker than other people. All right, so person to person is going to be changed, but we have to bring them on the same, same level. We have to bring all of them into the same level. We don't into such a line where we won't feel like this is flexible person, so we are going to make intense posture. No, we have to make all of them in the same line. Okay, and in yoga classes, many time what happens, like you will find so many people, like one person will be flexible, other person will be too much stiff, another person is going to be intermediate level, other advanced, and then many people they get super advanced. So we are going to make, we are going to modify all those poses. If somebody is not able to do, like they cannot grab the tools, we are going to modify with the help of the block, with the help of the props. You can use the block, you can use the bolster, you can use the wall, you can use a chair. Like these are the props that we can use when they want to deepen the posture, they want to practice any posture. Okay, so this is how posture is going to be different according to the people.
Mm.
All right, and the third thing is you have to adjust each and everyone. Okay, don't adjust one person only, otherwise other person will feel like he's not adjusting me or she's not adjusting me, she's just adjusting one particular person. Then people, they, these are all emotions. People, they feel like he's not against me, maybe he does not like me and all, like this. Okay, so you have to go each and everybody and give them same amount of time. Don't give one particular person, don't, don't put all, don't pay all attention to one person. Okay, you have to be go according to, like, go to each and every person. Okay, let's suppose if you are paying attention to one person only, and then that person is not also going to feel good. Why? Because he must be feeling that I'm not doing it right. Like every time I'm doing it wrong, and he's correcting me, she's correcting me because I'm not able to do it. So this can, decrease the like courage on their mind to perform the posture. Okay, so we have to be careful, like how much time are we spending on one person, how much time we are spending on other people too. Okay, and fourth thing is we have to always understand your instructions are clear. You don't have to use, difficult words. Everything has to be, smooth and nice words which can, everybody can, so that everybody can understand, whether they know English or not. If they don't understand any, like any language, Hindi, English, anything, then, like, perform at the time, at the same time perform. If they don't understand, if they understand, it's good. If they don't understand, you're going to perform. All right, and the fifth thing is that the moment when you're modifying the posture, let them know, like, what are the benefits of doing this posture. Okay, if they feel like they are using the block, you know beginner people, they feel like if they are using the block, is it discourages their, motivation, or that, thought that we are not able to do the posture, we are not supposed to use the block. When you're using the block, this is going to uplift your motivation, this is going to uplift your confidence. Okay, so the moment when you're using the block is going to help you out, is going to bring more information towards your body. Okay, if you don't use blocks, if you don't use props, then again you must be lacking somewhere in the flexibility. If you want to maximize the breath, maximize your intensity of the posture, you have to hold in the blocks, in the props, like anything, chair, block, or cushion, anything is there nearby that you have to use. Okay, and sixth, seventh thing is make sure people, they don't push themselves, excessively or beyond the limit. Okay, they should know what is their limit, and they feel like we, if you are going to do this kurmasan like this, like I have practiced, so I'm enough flexible to do this posture, right? But the beginner people, they won't be able to do this. So make sure they don't feel like, I'm not able to do, maybe his body is different, my body is different. So I have also gone through that process, and now that is why I am able to do this. Okay, now you are going through this process. So this is going to take a little, like, a little longer time, but definitely for sure it will come. All right, and now let's talk about how we are going to make a sequence. Do you know that
Mm.
how do we make sequence?
Yeah, so first we start a
Mm-hmm.
warm up exercise like sitting or standing, whatever the your theme is according to that, and
Mm-hmm.
then sun salutation A, sun salutation B, then
Mm-hmm.
few asanas, and
Mm-hmm.
depend upon class that how they can perform. You can choose a hard asana, difficult and intense asana through counter asanas, and after counter asanas there is again um, cool down process, and after that so
Twisting
first of
and so
all
on.
for starting is opening mantra, and then ending with like closing mantra or Om Shanti followed by like that.
Very nice. So this is how we are going to make a sequence, okay? But this sequence is going to be, influenced by that peak pose. So whatever peak pose you have got, that is going to influence your all sequence. Okay, so let's suppose you are going for the back bend or any like intense back bend, like camel pose, chakrasana, or you want to hold your leg behind, like behind your like from behind with your hand. So like hold your leg from your hand. So this is also going to increase the intensity. So these poses is going to be done when you have good forward bend. Okay, so if you don't have, sorry, when you have good preparation of the postures. If you don't have good preparation of the posture, again, you must, you may fall into injury. Make sure you have gone through that process, like proper process of that preparation, and then you are moving to the peak pose. Okay, so this also happens like many times. What happens like we are when the moment when we start teaching to students, then we feel like we start to move to the process of that preparation. Okay, so the moment when they are holding there into the posture, and they have already gone through this process of this preparation, and we feel like they are not enough warmed. Okay, ask your student that are they warmed enough to get to the posture. If they don't feel like they are not warmed enough, then don't let them come to the peak pose. Okay, it's very important to understand, because many a time what happens like we you know we feel like this preparation is enough for them, but it does not happen the same way as we think, because we are not practicing, we are just instructing them. Okay, we cannot practice the entire sequence at the same time when we are speaking. It's going to be very intense, very hard. All right. So, once in a while, it will happen like we will practice, we will speak at the same time. But every time, it won't be possible that you're gonna speak, you're gonna perform at the same time. All right. So make sure you're asking your students when you want them to get to the peak pose, ask them like, are their body enough warmed or not for this peak pose? Or if it's warmed, then get to the pose. If it's not warm, then we're gonna make it more intense, then get to the pose. All right.
Okay.
And at the end of the peak pose, in the peak pose, how much holding there should be? Do you have any idea?
It's a 5 count.
Yeah, see, yeah, we will do this for 3 rounds. Okay, right, 5 breath, 10 breath as per your comfort. But second round again increase that intensity. Third round again increase the intensity. And immediately after any peak pose, you have to go for the counter pose. Let's suppose your peak pose was forward bend, you have to do forward back bend. If your peak pose was hip opening, you have to close your hips or rotate your legs inward. If your peak pose was twisting, then again you're gonna lengthen your spine. You're gonna twist to the other side. If your peak pose is back bend, you will do forward bend. Sorry. So this is how we have to go through all this process. Okay. Any question
And,
that you want to ask about? Yeah, yeah.
yes, sir. When we say, suppose in sun salutation A or B or any asana, when you say hold, so it's a hold means hold of the posture or breathe. We have to hold our breath too.
No, 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 no. It's holding of the posture. You don't have to hold your breath. Okay, so we are
Okay.
not going to hold our breath in any posture. We have to keep on inhaling,
Yeah.
exhaling.
So like
But
in
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
when we do sun salutation and when we say like inhale and then hold, so
Mhm.
it's just a posture.
Yeah, it's just a posture. See, when it comes to vinyasa, like suppose we do sun salutation, right? So while inhaling, we're gonna move our hands upward. Okay, so your hands and your breath is going together. The moment when you complete your posture, your breath is also supposed to be completed like this. Now my breath is completed. Now while exhaling, I'm gonna move forward, exhale, 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 exhale. When I put my hands down, I'm gonna forcefully exhale and then deepening the posture. Okay, so there is only one movement and one breath. Okay, you don't have two or three breath in one movement. So there will be one movement, one breath. But if you're holding into this forward bend, here you have to inhale, and then while exhaling again, you're gonna deepen the posture. Okay, so that's how we are going to deepen.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. What other things that we have got in our, like, what are the things that you face in teaching when you make your student to perform yoga?
Not much, because I just like taught them, not now, but before, just taught them very basic asana by a lotus pose, and if they can't do and jump, mainly with ladies, it's a for mental basic breathing exercise only. So breathing exercise and on meditation. So yeah, I right now I'm not taking any classes or anything. It's just a volunteer day I'm teaching them. So yeah, 1 year before, not now.
Yes. Okay. So one more thing in this, the moment when we start teaching and when we are practicing, it's very different. Okay. So when you are teaching, at the time, maximum time, you are just only instructing. You're not, you're not performing, and then you don't understand that what are the stretches that they may be feeling, right? So make sure that you have already gone through that sequence, and you know where does this stretch come. Okay, so you should know that. If you don't know like where this stretch should come, then you will also again instruct like wrong thing, right? So make sure you're instructing those things what you have already gone through. If you are making them to do handstand, if you don't know, then again, like maybe it's going to be difficult for them to understand, right? If they already know, then they'll be able to do it. But if they don't know and you don't know, then and both don't know, but still you are practicing, then maybe it's going to make difference. Okay. And one more thing in this, you should know that synchronization of your breath and the movement. Okay, if you don't know like where to inhale, okay, when you are expanding your lungs, you're gonna inhale. While squeezing your abdomen, squeezing your lungs, you have to exhale. So this is the important thing. And before instructing anything, you have to say inhale and exhale. Okay, in the beginning, not at the end, so that they'll be conscious like throughout that movement. Okay, so let's suppose if you are performing sun salutation, uh, every time sun salutation start with inhale, you're gonna take your arms up. While exhaling, bend down. I don't say like take your arms up, inhale there. I don't say like bend forward and exhale there. Like first I say inhale and exhale. Sorry. First I say inhale and then exhale. Okay. So inhale, exhale should be there at the very beginning of the instructions. Okay. Make sure that like this thing has to be ensured like you are speaking these inhale and exhale in the beginning. That is then you're moving further to that that instruction, whatever instruction you are making. Okay. So how do you instruct? Do you do the same thing or other thing?
Sorry, just a minute.
Yeah.
Sorry, my husband's meeting is started, so background noises.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, sir.
what I was saying that
What are the questions?
how do you instruct? Do you instruct in the same way as I told you, or do you instruct different way?
Yeah, sir. Yes, I instruct the same way you like just now you instruct me and the same way I will instruct others. Yeah, because
Okay.
so many good
This
things which
is
I
how,
learned
yeah.
because before that I'm because of Corona, I stopped. But before that, I was taking a dance class also, Bollywood dance class. So in that class, I observe, yeah. So if weak students are there, so if I them, so the student feel like, they feel felt ignored, and then that thing comes to me later. So then whenever you talking that thing in background of my mind, that yeah, it was already happened with me, so I know. So
Yeah, it
like
makes everything easy. Like when
importance
you
of
before say
each
inhale and
student.
exhale, then everything comes so smoothly.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, any other question about this teaching methodology, like what are the things? And you should also know this how to use the props. Okay, if you have block, use that block like many a time. Okay, so it's not about you have to use the block like this in vertical or
Mhm.
horizontal. Horizontal position is going to be according to their level, vertical
Mhm.
position according to their level. If they are too stiff, they are going to use the block like this so that they will get more height from the floor. But if they are
Mhm.
like enough flexible, they can use like this. If they are like
Mhm.
flexible enough, then again they are going to use this. And then if they are already flexible, then they don't need to use it. But still, even you are flexible or not, you should know that how you are supposed to use the props.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
So using the props, like let's suppose if you have got chair,
Mhm.
so how you're going to use the chair in the back bend is going to help you out because you can adjust your. Do you know what kind of chair do we use in the yoga classes?
Like steady chair must be, or this kind of plastic
Not
chairs,
steady
like
chair, not plastic chair. Have you seen WWE or other things,
no.
WrestleMania? So they use the same chair. We use the same chair in this yoga classes. Okay, this is going to be like this. This one, folded
Oh,
one.
okay, okay, okay.
Okay, so which can easily fold like this and it can only open. Okay, so how do we usually use this chair? If you are working on the forward bend, you can use the chair and then grab that bottom of your like the legs of your chair like this.
Okay.
So this is going to give you a stretch on your leg. If you wanted to
Mhm.
go for the downward facing dog, again hold the chair and then push down.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, if you want to do back bend, then you can sit here and then go backward and then take your hands back, and the other person is going to push from other side. Okay,
Mhm.
if you are going for the side angle pose, again you can take your leg inside like this and then
Mhm.
sit right here. Okay, now I'm
Mhm.
sitting. Okay, this
Okay.
makes the posture more comfortable and you can hold here for long period of time. See, when I'm
Mhm.
sitting here, I'm like actually feeling this stretch here on my outer inner thighs. Usually, I don't
Mhm.
usually feel stretch when I get to
Mhm.
this pose, right?
Okay.
So this is at the same time it's giving me stretch and I can hold here for long period of time. So when I'm
Mhm.
holding here for long period of time, again it's going to increase that intensity of the posture.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is how we are going to use these chairs.
Okay.
And we have roller too. When you are looking for the back bend, you can use the low roller in front. You can stretch your arms forward and sink your hips down like this. This is how you can open up your chest.
Okay.
Or you
Mhm.
can lie down on the roller like this and then bend backward and take your arms.
Okay.
Okay, so these props is going to bring more information. You become more conscious of the movement and your stretches.
Mhm.
Okay, so do you have your own studio of dance class?
No, sir.
Okay, so when you're going to make your own studio of yoga or dance class, so use these
Mm.
props too. Okay,
Yeah.
so they
I
will
will
love to
plan
feel the
to
stretch
do it
and they
in
will.
my basement only. I have a basement, so
Mhm.
I will furnish that basement in future. So maybe I will
What
plan
did you
that.
say?
I have a basement
I
here
didn't.
in house, so
Okay,
I
okay,
will plan
okay.
yeah, I will plan that basement.
Okay, then this is how we use these props and all. Okay.
Okay.
And any other thing?
Okay, sir. So for exam, theoretical exam, how I can give the exams, like theory and practical both?
Theoretical exam, that practical one.
That-
I don't know about
So
this exams. I, I don't know about this exam, but Soumya ma'am will tell you that what are the things that you have to
yes,
send or that is needed there in the examination.
for your class, like alignment class, should I, from my side, should I need to give you anything, or I'll write that sequence as you told me before. Uh, but
Just
yeah,
write down that sequence and then send me on email or
okay.
send to Soumya ji. Okay.
Okay.
So if you want to modify, if you want to find that improvement in you, then you can send to me so that I can see and I will go through that sequence and then I will tell you like uh, if it could be better or it's very nice or if there is something that to improve that I'm gonna tell you.
Or
Okay.
should I send a video too with it, so you can see if I'm making something
Yeah.
like
You
that?
can send it. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So since last 3 days, did you
Mhm.
like what time did you come in the class?
Yeah, I came generally 7 to 8 minutes late, because after Durge's ma'am class, like meditation class, I 10 to 15 minutes for my routine work. So at the time here 6:30 in the morning, and your class starts at 7:30. So after her class finish, I need 10 to 15 minutes to
Okay. Got it.
um,
Got it.
to during
Yeah, that's why I was thinking yesterday and yeah, before that, before last day we had Sunday, so it was off. On Saturday again, like I was also
yeah,
there, but
I came
nobody
from
came.
last 2 days, but I came generally little late. So
Mhm.
yeah.
It's fine.
Okay, I try to tomorrow little early. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
Take your time and that. Yeah.
only this 2 time I'm able to join the class, because I cannot join the Ashtanga class also. So I watch the video and I perform all asana and Ashtanga, all the asana in sequence also, but I don't know that I'm doing right or not. So that
This is important.
class.
So
So
when it's morning here, what time it is there? Like if it's 6 a.m. here, so what time will be there in your country?
right now it's 8:15 morning here. So it's
8:15 morning.
yeah, so it's 11 hours the difference. We are
All right.
11 hours back from India, like, so it's yeah, it's a
11
Tuesday
hours
morning
back.
here, back. Yeah, it's a Tuesday
Okay.
morning, 8:15.
All right. Got it.
The evening. We have a morning.
Okay. Okay. Anything else that you want to ask about our
Uh,
session? Like
no, thank
any
you.
alignment or anything? So
Uh,
do you find it like interesting or like enough informative when you come
yes,
to the class or
informative, and actually I thought that mm, myself that I'm very flexible, because I'm doing dance and this and yoga and asana. But when I come to this class, I think that no, I'm not flexible, because so many asanas are there which I could not perform, and it's difficult for me to perform. I thought, oh, I can do a headband, I can do sirsasana without support. So and other asanas. So I'm flexible, but no, I'm not that flexible, because here it's so many other asanas are there which I know. So yeah, it's so informative, and especially breathing in, breathing out. This is very like, and counter poses. Yeah, I don't know about counter poses before. So that we have to do counter poses, otherwise you feel a pain here and there. So yeah, yeah.
so what I have observed to see when you practice that you have got strength like you can easily do inversions what I have seen like you can
Mhm.
do side angle pose, or Kondini that we did in that last month, pro pose, that you were able to do it. You have got enough strength. You just need to little work on that flexibility. When you have good forward bend, and when you have good forward bend, the better headstand or any inversion is going to happen, right? So when you're performing, like when you're flexible from backside, okay, the moment when you're flexible from backside, so it's going to be easy to find the center of the gravity because your hips comes over your head, right? So in the forward bend, our hips can easily get to our head, right? And the same thing happen in the inversion. In inversion, what happens? You just need to find the balance within your palm, like in between your palm and the wrist. So the moment when you're leaning forward, you're gonna push your fingertips down. When you're moving backward, you're gonna press your wrist on the floor, right? In inversion, strong core, strong arms, they are not important. You just need to have the, enough consciousness in between that balance. Like you have to find the center of the gravity only. Okay, so you are able to do it, but the more if you work on that forward bend or flexibility, these hamstring stretches, then it's going to be very nice. You can easily go get a good hold of each and every posture. Okay, so work on the forward bend instead of other poses. Like other poses are also important, but work on the forward bend. Like make a target like that. You have to achieve this posture in the forward bend, then second posture, then third thing. Okay, but first target is going to be your forward bend.
Forward bending, okay.
Yeah, forward bend, like where you can grab your toes, or these postures, Marityasana, Janushirasana, these all poses. And we also discussed about forward bend. In the forward bend, we usually work on that hamstring, right? We think like we are supposed to open from the hamstring. No, we are supposed to open from a lower back first, lower back, upper back, and a hip, right? So instead of bending completely down, you can bend your legs, grab your toes, and bend down like this. So this is how you are stretching your lower back and your hips. But here you won't feel any stretch on your hamstring. But when you keep your legs straight, now you will feel the stretch only on here, here on your hamstrings, right? So this stretch we can easily find whether you are doing this posture. You can easily find the stretch here. When you're straightening your legs, you can again feel the stretch here, but you don't feel the stretch on your lower back. So where we are lacking in, we're lacking in our lower back flexibility, right? And our hips flexibility. Okay, so in order to sustain this stretch on your lower back and your hips, you have to keep your spine straight. Okay, so in the forward bend, instead of making hump on your back, okay, you have to keep your spine straight. Okay, don't make hump, spine straight, and fold your legs like this. Keep your spine straight like this. So bend forward, and now you will feel stretch on your leg, on your lower back. Yes, that's how. So try to touch your abdomen on your thighs. Yeah, bend forward. Look front, look front, look front, look front. Touch your abdomen only. Touch your abdomen only. Look front again. Chest up, look front. Yes, so this is perfect. So this is how you have to do these forward bends. Okay, now one by one, straightening your legs. Extend one leg and other leg. One by one. Go slow. Yeah, bend forward, elbows bent. Is your abdomen is touching on your thighs or not? Is it touching or not?
Yes.
Okay, it's actually not touching. You have to bend your legs more. Bend your legs. Yes, now touch your abdomen. Bend forward. Lower your elbows down. Now you will feel a stretch on your lower back.
Yes.
Are you feeling?
Yes.
Okay. So this is how the improvise in the flexibility of the forward bends. Okay. All right. Okay. From tomorrow we will do triangle pose. Triangle pose. Have you done it before?
Yeah, I done with Ashtanga yoga, not but just I
Okay,
need
okay. So tomorrow.
because
Yeah.
recorded one I done.
Then we will do triangle pose tomorrow, and then we will move on to revolve triangle maybe if we got time. Okay. So let's finish today's assignment. Sit in any comfortable pose. Close your eyes. Let's chant 1 Om followed by 3 Shanti. Take a deep breath in. Om. Shanti. 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 Join your hands together. Bow your head down. Open your eyes while blinking. And namaste, Snehaji. Okay, Snehaji, take care.
Okay, thank you, sir.
See you tomorrow. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.